out there. 30 below. When I exhale, my breath turns to sleep before it hits the ground. The poor dog hasn't been outside for 3 days. A few more days of this weather and he's gonna pop.
For sure. Chicago never got the global warming memo.
I am sick and tired of freezing to death. You have to be a loony to live here.
This is my hometown, Chicago. I love it here.
That's because Chicagoans are born wearing long underwear and with defrosters in their ears to prevent chronic brain freeze. We Southerners, on the other hand, are missing that gene.
Ah, come on. The Loop, the lake, we loonies. Chicago's a great place to be.
Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. 1 and 1 is 2, 6 and 2 is 8. Come on, baby, don't you make me late. Heidi-ho, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. 6 and 3 is 9, 9 and 9, 18. Look at brother, baby, and see what I see. Heidi-ho, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Well, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. Back to the same old place, sweet home Chicago. Oh, yeah.
As much as I love Chicago, I wouldn't mind a climate change. Let's pack up the car and head for sunny CA.
A road trip to California. Great idea. Sounds like a dream come true.
All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray, I've been for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA, California dreaming on such a winter's California dream. Preacher likes the cold. He knows I'm gonna stay. Knows I'm gonna stay. California dream. On such a winter's California dream. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. If I didn't tell her, I could leave today. California, California dream.
On such a winter's
California dream.
On such a winter's
California day.
On such a winter's day.
Well, shall we get the car packed up?
I guess that was the royal we.
Yes, but the royal we can't afford a butler, so grab the suitcases. I'm right behind you with the ice chest and a road map.
Let's take some historic route. Be like modern day pioneers.
How about Route 40?
I was thinking about Route 66.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to L.A. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Do-ba-do-wee-do-da.
Well, you can go through St. Louis,
Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona,
don't forget Winona,
Kingman,
Barstow,
San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66.
get your kicks on 66. Lose your blues on 66. You can't cruise, you can't lose on Route 66. Get your kicks,
Making my way across the prairie,
get your kicks
down to New Mexico.
66. Lose your blues,
Gotta make two come carry.
lose your
I got a long way to go.
66. You can't
My love's waiting up to meet me. So on moves and on grooves and on down the road.
get your kicks.
Making my way across the prairie,
Get your kicks.
down to
Why
New
don't you
Mexico.
go?
Gotta make two come carry. I got a long way to go. 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Oh, yeah!
Would you look at that? Boy, howdy, the mighty Mississippi. I feel like Becky Thatcher. Is your name Tom Sawyer? Just imagine what fun it would be to ride on a paddle wheel boat down the Big Muddy.
I'm more into trains myself, chugging through little towns all across the country. Remember that great song Meredith Willson wrote for the Music Man? You could just feel the rhythm of the train riding along the trails.
River City Junction, River City Station, next stop.
Department stores back east let folks get anything on credit. If I don't give credit, I don't have customers.
You're crazy with the heat. Credit is no good to an ocean salesman.
Board, all aboard.
Why? What's wrong with credit?
Why, it's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City, next station stop. River City, next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods,
Cash for the fancy goods. Cash for the soft goods.
cash for the noggins and the figgins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cask and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickle and the flypaper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker, 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 you can talk, you can talk, you can talk, bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's a Model T Ford, major trouble. I mean, the people wanna go, wanna get up and go 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, or at the modern store, at the present-day modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's a unit of biscuit major trouble. You need to put the crackers in the package, The unit of biscuit in an airtight sanitary package made of Cracker Barrel obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with a mail pouch, cut plug, chawed by the stove. Changed the approach for the traveling salesman, made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. But you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fellow by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill.
Hill?
No!
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Hill.
No, he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's the fellow's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or the you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
For a doggone thing, he's just a bang beat bell ringing big hog rip go rip roar necker nothing every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Howard Hill.
Tell us, what's his line?
He's a fake, and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums, big brass bass. And the piccolo, uniforms too, with a shiny gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones, no sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a Jew's harp.
No, the fellow sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines, and when the man dances, certainly boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
St. Louis. I sure never thought I'd see this city. Do you know that is the first big arch I've ever seen that wasn't sitting in front of a McDonald's?
Do you know the St. Louis Cardinals were once the westernmost pro baseball team in America?
No, I don't know that. And frankly, I don't care. But do you know the blues took root right here in the Mississippi Valley?
As a matter of fact, I do know that. But do you know W.C. Handy was one of the blues masters?
No, I did not know that. However, I do find that fascinating. There's nothing like those St. Louis blues.
I'm just as blue as I can be. It's those St. Louis blues. I've got those dark blues. I hate to see that evening sun go down. Sun going down. I hate to see that evening sun go down. Sun going down, 'cause my sweet man, he's gonna leave this town. If I'm feeling tomorrow, like I feel today, like I feel today, feeling tomorrow, like I feel today, like I feel today. I'm gonna pack my trunk and make my getaway.
driving across the old US of A really gives you a sense of how big this country is. Seems like these plains just go on and on.
Yes, sirree. Wheat fields as far as you can see, and the corn is as high as an elephant's eye.
Chris, did you forget to take your meds this morning?
You were about to say.
I was about to say, those Dust Bowl years must have been terrible to live through. You can understand how that happened, all this sweeping dry wind.
Bob? Did you stop the mail before we left Chicago?
Of course I did. I didn't just fall off of a turnip truck. No offense to you turnip farmers out there in the audience.
Well, now, Mr. Mensa, how in the world is our crazy, lovesick daughter going to know if her just plain crazy boyfriend still adores her? She spends her entire day waiting for a letter from what's-his-name, lying in wait for that poor, unsuspecting mailman. Boy, I pity him. The day before we left Chicago, our mailman left a note in our mailbox, written on the form they use for unleashed dogs. It said, "To whom it may concern, your dog," which was crossed out, and he had put in daughter, "is seriously out of control. You must keep it," but he had crossed out it and put in she. "Must be kept on a leash at all times when outside to prevent it," but it was crossed out again, and he put in her, "from biting," but biting was crossed out, and he had written in terrorizing or otherwise injuring, but injuring was crossed out, and he had written in freaking out, your mail person. Actually, I always thought he was a mailman, but I guess now he's a person. Anyway.
So wait just a minute. When he got finished crossing out and adding all these words on that form, exactly what did it say?
Well, it said, "To whom it may concern, your daughter is seriously out of control. She must be kept on a leash at all times when outside to prevent her from terrorizing or otherwise freaking out her mail person."
So how come he didn't cross out the word leash?
Well, actually, he did cross it out, and he wrote in porch. So it said, "Keep her on the porch," but then I guess he changed his mind because he crossed out porch and wrote leash back in again.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Well, neither is our daughter.
Wait. Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait. Wait, Mr. Postman. Wait. Mr. Postman, who can say, is there a letter in your bag for me? I've been waiting a long, long time since I heard from that boy of mine. There must be some mail today from my boyfriend, Mr. So far away. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see if there's a letter for me. I've been standing here waiting, Mr. Postman, so patiently. Or just a card, or just a letter. Is there anything you do with the thing? Please, Mr. Postman, Mr. Postman, look and see. Is there a letter in your bag for me? I've been waiting a long time since I heard from that boy of mine. So many days to pass me by. So the tears that in my eyes. You didn't stop to make me feel better by leaving me a card or a letter. Mr. Postman, Mr. Postman, Mr. Post can say, is there a letter in your bag for me? I've been waiting a long, long time since I heard from that boy of mine. Mr. Postman, Mr. Postman, Mr. Post can say, is there a letter in your bag for me? I've been waiting a long, long time since I heard from that boy of mine. Mr. Postman!
Bob, as much as I do love traveling by car, I'm kind of getting some fanny fatigue.
Yeah, and when you've eaten one Denny's Grand Slam breakfast, you've eaten one too many.
Same goes for Motel 6. I wish they'd turn that darn light out.
We could hop on a plane for the rest of the trip.
Now that is definitely something to consider.
Leaving home out on the road, I've been down before. Riding along in that big old jet plane, I've been thinking about my home. But my love life seems so far away, and it feels like it's all been done. Somebody's trying to make me stay, you know I've got to keep moving on. Oh, big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Goodbye to all my friends at home, goodbye to people I trusted. I've got to go out and make my way. I might get rich, you know, I might get busted, but my heart keeps pulling me backwards as I get on the 707. Riding high, I got tears in my eyes. You know you've got to go to hell before you get to heaven. Big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner, 'cause it's here that I've got to stay. Touching down in New England town, feel the heat coming down. I've got to keep on, keep moving on. You know that big wheel keeps on spinning around. Going with some hesitation, you know that I can show you see that I don't want to get caught up in funky things going down in the city. Big old jet airliner, don't carry me too far away. Oh, big old jet airliner,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. We have reached altitude and it's safe to unbuckle your seatbelts and move about the cabin. Please feel free to stretch your legs. The flight attendants will be coming through with their food carts. Enjoy. We'll let you know when you need to return to your seats. In other words, it's intermission. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats so that we may continue our musical journey across America.
Take out those lyric sheets and raise your voices in song so that they can hear you from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water.
Like church.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
You know, flying would have been fun.
But I'm glad we decided to stay on the road. We would have totally missed the vast beauty of the plains and the grandeur of the Rocky Mountains. And I can't wait to see those high Sierras. Don't you just wonder what the pioneers must have been thinking about when they trekked over those mountains into California?
As I recall, they were thinking about eating each other for dinner. Personally, I'm glad I'm driving my Outback instead of a covered wagon. And I'm really glad I don't have to figure out whether you would taste better with a sprinkling of tarragon or a dash of smoked paprika.
So silly. I could always count on you to focus on the more charming aspects of our nation's history. But you must admit, the American landscape is just perfect. Except for those miles of God-forsaken salt flats in Utah. I, for one, believe they were put there to give us a preview of what our backyards are going to look like if people don't start riding their bikes to work. But except for that one big old eyesore, this country is gorgeous.
Did you know the beauty so awed Catherine Lee Bates that it inspired her to write a beautiful poem that was used as the lyrics for the Song of the Ages, America the Beautiful?
And did you know that Samuel Ward, an American organist, wrote the music?
I do now.
This cute little town reminds me of the scenes from that classic movie with Judy Garland. Do you know which movie I mean?
Sure I know. Aren't I the one you call Mr. Mensa? It was the Harvey Girls.
Yeah, that's right. About the little town stretched out all along the railroad line with hotels just for those heading west.
It's the train I remember the best. In that scene where the whole cast is dancing by that great iron locomotive as it chugged along the railroad tracks, heading west.
Do you hear that whistle down the line? I figure that it's engine number 49. She's the only one that'll sound that way on the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. Chug, 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 chug.
See the old smoke rising round the bend. I reckon that you know she's gonna be their friend.
Folks around these parts get the time of day from the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. Here she comes. Ooh, hey Jim, you better get the rig. Ooh, she's got a list of passengers that's pretty big, and they all want lifts to Brown's Hotel. 'Cause lots of them been traveling for quite a spell, all the way from Philadelphia, on the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. Chug, 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 chug.
Back in Ohio, where I come from, I dropped a lot of children and a promised son.
But I never thought I'd see the day when I'd ever take a ride on the Santa Fe. Here she comes. Ooh, hey Jim, you better get the rig. Ooh, she's got a list of passengers that's pretty big, and they all want lifts to Brown's Hotel. 'Cause lots of them been traveling for quite a spell, all the way from Philadelphia.
On the Atchison, Topeka,
Santa Fe.
Atchison, Topeka,
Santa Fe.
Wow, Chris, look up ahead. Those are the high Sierras, way out there in the distance. That's California.
great. I'll dig around in your suitcase for the tarragon and the smoky paprika in case you get hungry.
Now you're talking.
I swear I can smell the great Pacific Ocean.
We're still hundreds of miles away. You must have the world's greatest sniffer. Were you a beagle in your prior life?
You have no imagination.
What do you mean I have no imagination? I was just imagining you as a beagle. And you do have cute ears.
Keep your eyes on the road, boy. California, here we come.
Open up the Golden Gate, California, here I come. Oh, California, here I come. Right back where I started from. Where flowers, all flowers bloom in the sunshine. Each morning at dawning, birdies sing and everything. The sun kissed me, said, don't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up that Golden Gate, California, here I come. California, here I come.
You know, I always thought California, Here I Come was a state song of California. Seems like it should be. But I saw on the web that the state song is actually I Love You, California, and it's been used in a car commercial.
Bob, you gotta seriously curb your screen time. You are becoming a fount of useless information. But hey, wasn't it thrilling to finally cross into California? And now here we are in Santa Monica. What a view of the shore.
Santa Monica is pretty, but boy howdy, traffic is nuts. They aren't kidding when they say Californians love their cars. It's more like they idolize them.
Well, every culture has its idols, and Californians are just wacky enough to idolize cars. And on top of that, they even write hymns to exalt them.
Little do scoop, you don't know what I got. Little do scoop, you don't know what I got.
Well, I'm not bragging, babe, so don't put me down. But I got the fastest set of wheels in town. When something comes up to me, don't even try. Cause if I had a set of wings, I know she can fly. She's my little new scoop. You don't know what I got. You don't know what I got. Just a little new scoop with a flathead mitt. But she'll walk a thunderbird like she's standing still. She's sported and relieved and she's stroked and bored to do 140 with the top end floor.
She's my little new scoop. Oh, you don't know what I got.
She got a competition punch with 4 on the floor. Yeah, she purrs like a kitten to lick my throat. And if that ain't enough to make you flip your lid, there's one more thing. I got the pink slip daddy. Coming off the line when the light turns green. Oh, she blows them out of the water like you never seen. I get pushed out of shade. It's hard to steer, but I get rubber in all 4 gears. She's my little new scoop.
Oh,
You don't know what I got. You don't know what I got. She's my little new scoop.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what I got.
You don't know what I got. Little new scoop.
You don't know what I got.
You don't know what I got.
Holy guacamole! I'm trying out some of my new California speak. We've been parked on this Santa Monica freeway for at least a week. Not exactly the paradise I had in mind when we left Chicago.
Maybe it's time to ditch the car, but still keep heading west into the sunset.
Bobby boy, I really do think you were divine, but you are definitely not divine at the walk on water level. Were you thinking of renting an inner tube or a canoe?
No, you silly girl, a cruise ship.
And exactly which bank are we robbing, Clyde?
I already took care of that, Bonnie.
All right. Works for me.
There is no verse to this song, 'cause I don't want to wait a minute too long to tell you I'd love to get you on a slow boat to Kona, all to myself alone, all to myself alone. Get you and keep you in my arms evermore. Leave all your troubles lying on a faraway shore. Off to Hawaii with the moon big and shiny, living a dream of our own. Got to live it on our own. I'd love to get you on a slow boat to Kona. living a dream of our own love to live in. Lord have mercy, I'd love to get you on a slow boat to Kona, all to myself, all to myself, all to myself, alone, alone, just you and me, just you and me, yeah.
Gosh. This is fabulous, Bob. Who would have thought we'd be on a cruise?
Who would have thought we could pull off that job on the bank without getting caught?
Well, yes, there was that. You're such a card.
I heard there's entertainment in the ship's lounge this evening. Want to check it out?
Sure. I saw a poster by the pickleball court today. It's that a cappella group called the Old Salts, right?
No, I'm pretty sure they're called the Peppertones.
Oh, well, I knew it was something you shake.
One, two. Down, down the way, down, 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 down the way, down, down the way, where the nights are gay and the sun shines day on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a day. My heart is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down at the market, you can hear ladies crying out while on their hands they bear ackee rice, sawfish, or nuts, and the rum is fine any time of year.
But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down, 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 down the way, down, 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 down the way, down, down.
Sounds of laughter everywhere as the dancing girls sway to and fro. I must declare my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico.
But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. To have this here, we'd like to dedicate our next song to a great couple we met on the cruise, and their name is, let me get it right, Chris and Bob. We learned that they have dedicated their lives to sharing their special music with others. Chris sings in a church choir, and Bob plays the accordion in states where it's still allowed. So we have the perfect song for the perfect couple.
Mother says I was a dancer before I came
before, yes, before you could talk, she said, you began to sing long before I could talk. You began to sing before you could talk, and I've often wondered how did it start? You think that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can. Whoever it was, I'm a fan, so I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Ooh, thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me, giving it to me. I've been so lucky. I am a girl with golden hair. I want to sing it out to everybody. What a joy, what a life, what a chance. Oh, thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Ooh, thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me, giving it to me.
What fun that was. Those pepper tones added a lot of spice to our evening. Dedicating that song to us and everything.
Hey, wait a minute. What the heck is that? Good grief. There's a ship, a galleon. It's approaching fast, under full sail.
Just how long were you in the bar?
I'm not kidding. Egad, it's flying a strange black and white flag.
Let me take a look there. Oh, mercy. That strange black and white flag is a Jolly Roger. And those men on board, they're pirates.
Well, for the love of Captain Hook, it looks like they're going to, oh no, sing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly than play a sanctimonious part with a pirate head and a pirate heart.
His heart is black, you know it's true.
Away to the cheating world go you.
He'll lie and cheat and steal from you.
Where pirates all are well to do. But I'll be true to the song he sings and live and die a pirate king. For I am the pirate king.
He is hurrah for a pirate king.
And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king.
You are hurrah for a pirate king.
And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king.
It is hurrah for the pirate king. Hurrah for the pirate king.
When I sally forth to seek my prey, I help myself in a royal way. I sink a few more ships, it's true, than a well-bred monarch ought to do.
You'll sink your ship, you know it's true.
But many a king on his first-class throne,
You'll walk the plank or join his crew.
if he wants to call his crown his own. But manage somehow to get through more dirty work.
it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king. You are hurrah for the pirate king. And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. It is hurrah for the pirate king. Hurrah for the pirate king.
Captain, are we ready to board the ship?
Well, as long as there are no orphans aboard. You know, it's against our pirate code to steal from orphans.
Hey, Captain, don't you think it's kind of odd that the last 10 ships we boarded were manned entirely by orphans?
I'm thinking it's just bad luck. I think there's a problem. There's a banner on the ship that says, Annual Orphans Hawaii Cruise. Arr!
So now you go.
Woo! They're turning away. Boy, howdy, that was close.
Well, you see, you got your knickers in a knot over nothing. I actually thought those pirates were warbling like meadowlarks. I'm quite surprised our cruise director isn't rowing out to their galleon at this minute to offer them a gig in the lounge.
Right. The perfect publicity for a cruise ship. We help pirates board our ship. Insurance available from the purser at special discount rates for all your valuables. Jewelry, laptops, and your wife not included. Chris, I see
Yes?
Diamond Head.
It's there. Bob, I'm just loving Hawaii. I think this is the paradise I had in mind when we were in Chicago.
Well, maybe not the perfect paradise. That darn H2 was just as jammed up at rush hour as the Santa Monica Freeway.
Boy, howdy, if I've got to be stuck in traffic, let me be stuck in paradise.
I'm looking for some place where I can enjoy some soothing peace and quiet. Oahu just isn't paradise anymore.
Well, we could try to make our own paradise. Let's find an outrigger and sail south to our own little grass shack.
No cars, no noise, and no 30 below.
And no pirates.
Just the sun and the surf and the wafting sounds of native music.
Sounds like a plan.
This last song that you just heard is often thought of as the unofficial national anthem of New Zealand. It translates, "The waves are breaking against the shores of Waiapu. My heart is aching for your return, my love." I guess the traveling Stanfields, Bob and Chris, who is an alumna of PHC, by the way, are true romantics at heart. And so we want to thank you two for taking us on this wonderful journey. My name is Dave Gazzelli, and I'm the president of this chorus, Pacific PHC. And we love what we do here, and we love that many of you have returned from prior performances, and I want to thank you all for your attendance and your financial support, which both inspire and support us. If you have the slightest inkling that what you've seen here looks like fun, it is. So look at our website, give us a call, show up at a rehearsal, join us. And now let me offer some special thanks, particularly to Grace Lutheran Church, who's provided us this lovely facility, and maybe next time they'll actually be parking in a narthex. And also I'd like to give a special thanks to Gretchen Rauch, who is the administrator here. Gretchen also provided the program for tonight's performance. I want to also thank Los Altos Lutheran Church, which provides our rehearsal space, and we couldn't get along without them. The Peninsulaires Barbershop Chorus, who has for many years supported this chorus. And our audiovisual engineer, Andrew Mellows, who's provided both sound and recording from way up in the loft. I'd like to give special recognition to John Longless, who's our artistic director and our show runner. And last but not least, by any means, Sean Abel, our director, who turns all of these croaking frogs into princes and princesses. So travel safely on your way home tonight, and one last thank you all for being here and taking us on this wonderful journey.